Your home network is perhaps one of the most important things to get absolutely spot on when you're doing a smart home system. Not just because the smart home systems, all of them today rely on really good network infrastructure, both wired and wireless, but also just because good Wi-Fi coverage around the house and good internet connectivity has become that fourth utility that we just cannot live without. Whether you're working from home or streaming movies around the house, your infrastructure has to be absolutely solid in order to cope with the requirements of today's network-hungry home. So the equipment that you get from your broadband provider typically isn't good enough to suffice in today's homes. And that's why what we would design and install for you would replace what they give you and expand it. We'll replace the router itself, we'll install additional network switches for additional capacity, and we'll install wireless access points throughout the property. When we then design for your wireless connectivity throughout your place, we would look at the size and scope of that property, and we'd install one or more access points specifically for your wireless connectivity hardwired back to the system. And in a smaller apartment, that can be 1 or 2 access points. But in larger properties, it could be in double-digit type figures to get the full coverage that you need. And we can also install outdoor access points if you want greater coverage in your garden or on the tennis court or wherever it may be. The network equipment that we then install for you will typically be installed in a rack similar to this, and that's where all of the central equipment will go. And by installing the central equipment in a rack such as this, it means that you can keep that clutter out of your rooms, so you don't have to have your Skyboxes and Virgin boxes sitting in the actual rooms or the amplifiers. It all gets installed here. So not only are you reducing clutter in the rooms, but you're also making your system much easier to upgrade in the future, because we would have to make the upgrades in the rack rather than every single room. And it gives you better flexibility and a bit more future-proofing as well. We often get asked, how big is my rack going to be? And it doesn't have to be this size. It really varies. I suppose it's almost obvious that it depends on the amount of equipment that you are installing throughout your house. But what is important is that you allow space for the rack somewhere in the property, and that's what we can advise what the best place is. You're not going to need dedicated air conditioning for a rack like this, but you will need some sort of ventilation.